To my delight and surprise, I actually knew who the Masked Singer was, which on occasion is not the case. Usually it's just like I will turn to my kids and say, who is that? But I know this guy, not only because I rooted like crazy for this guy when he was and still is the last quarterback to take the Jets to an AFC championship game in almost the whole damn way, but also covered him in his years in USC coming into the professional ranks. And he's also just an all-around great guy who I do believe is also head over heels in love with Sweat Taylor, like I am as well. He is the unmasked baby Allen. Baby alien, pardon me. The unmasked baby alien here on the Rich Eisen Show, Mark Sanchez. How are you, Mark?
Rich, I couldn't be any better, buddy. That's really funny. What'd your kids say? They finally respect me as a celebrity, or what?
No. They were happy for me that it was a New York Jet that got unmasked. They were happy for me. They were happy.
Awesome.
They were happy for me, Mark. But I was like, come on, you got to be kidding me! Congratulations. That must have been a blast for you. This whole.
It was so fun. And you talk about. I mean, you nailed it. It is a family show.
My gosh.
And getting ready for the show because of the puppet element.
Yeah.
I had to practice a lot with this puppet just to make it come to life and give it personality.
The baby alien.
They gave me, exactly. They gave me a fake puppet and a puppeteer coach named Ron. And we would Zoom. Yeah, Ron the puppeteer. We would Zoom. He was on like Crank Yankers. He's been on the Muppets. Like,
okay.
He's the puppeteer of all puppeteers. Okay, and he had this like whole method that he would put me through just to like start, just to begin before I even put my hand in the puppet, right? And we would Zoom constantly. We'd Zoom a couple times a week for hours. And I'm learning how to use this thing. And he's like, the whole thing is you just got to practice. When you read, when you listen to music, when you listen to podcasts, you just got to practice, responding to things and blah, 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 and bring the puppet to life. That was his whole thing.
So
I'm reading books to my kid, okay, every night. I have this incredible video of us reading about, I think it was like volcanoes or earthquakes or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going through the emotions of learning something new as this baby alien puppet, right? Like, I'm from outer space, so now I have to give this puppet a personality, and I'm showing, surprise and, sadness when I can't pronounce a word and trying to use the accent and all this kind of stuff. So I'm practicing my material on my kid right before bed for months trying to do this. So finally he got to see it last night. He finally understood why I'm running around the house with a heavy backpack to simulate the weight of the costume, running around with this silly puppet and singing at the top of my lungs over the Sonos on a karaoke machine in my living room. And it all made sense last night.
Wow. How old is your son?
He'll be 4 in November.
Oh, man. Did he
goes,
know
that
you're
the baby alien? I said, I am.
Amazing. So he had no idea you were about to be unmasked on TV?
No, he had no clue, but he knew everything leading up to it.
Sure.
And so as soon as that happened, he just said, we got to call Grandpa. We got to call Grandma and tell him.
Oh, isn't that amazing? That's why you do
awesome.
it. That's why you do it,
100%.
man. That is why you do it. That is so great. I mean, what a moment that you could have with your kid and your family. That is, but the singing aspect of it, Mark. I mean, how would you rate yourself on that side of things, Mark?
Listen, I'm very realistic.
Yep.
I knew what kind of my range was,
yep.
And I said, I just want to maximize the range that I have. I don't want to try and, aim for something that's unattainable. Let's be realistic with this thing. But I think there's a little bit of talent that can be developed even further. And the vocal coach said, yeah, like I'm actually surprised because a lot of people come on thinking they can either sing better than they really can, or, they downplay themselves and they can actually sing really well. And she's like, you have a pretty good gauge on your voice. And so let's just work within these notes that you can hit. And we'll make them the best notes you can. And she said, with the puppet, with the the costume and all that kind of stuff, everything else will take care of itself. And so I felt really good, right? I feel like I maximized my potential. Well, I'm walking off stage, and there goes Seahorse trotting onto the stage, and you're not supposed to hear the other performances. I still don't know who the other contestants are. They keep everything so hush-hush.
No kidding.
And they, like, shuffle you past everybody. You don't see anything. I have no clue. And I hear her as I'm undressing, and you're not supposed to hear the other performances, but this costume is so hard to get off, this baby alien costume. So it takes, like, 3 people to help me get out of it, and we're taking our time, and boom, Seahorse starts performing. And I said, you have got to be kidding me. I'm like, I'm in the group with Celine Dion or somebody who can sing like Celine? This is crazy. So I looked over at the dude as a competitive jerk. I'm like, hey, who put me in this group?
That's
right. BS, bro. Like,
damn straight.
She's a real singer.
Damn straight. When it all comes down to it, this is a competition, Mark. You're a competitive guy.
Exactly. So I was kind of pissed. But it was a good reality check, right? Because I was on this, emotional high, feeling like, yeah, man, we knocked it out of the park. This is great.
Yeah.
And then just like, boom, back to earth, buddy.
Well, at least you had to know, Mark, at that moment in time, that at least you were better than Gronk at this thing. I mean,
exactly.
My kids are normally guessing who's this, who's that, and we're so way off. Everybody knew that was Gronk, literally from the first second that Gronk opened his mouth. But last season, I think it was the Tiger last season.
Yeah.
You're better than Gronk there. No doubt.
I appreciate it.
And I think Antonio Brown lasted 1 week, too, in the first season.
Right.
So you're in good standing, Mark. You really are.
I did all right. You
did all right. This is great. I mean, this is a total blast. I will, since you're here the day after Le'Veon Bell released by the Jets.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of what's going on with the organization, Mark. I don't know if you're tight with them, if you're still at all associated with the organization, or what your 2 cents are and where things currently stand. 0-5, the whole thing seems to be falling apart here, Mark.
Yeah, so I think part of the issue is they've invested in a couple different players and things didn't pan out, whether it's because of injury or poor performance. But C.J. Mosley and Le'Veon Bell just didn't really pan out, right? And so they had a chance to just cut ties, cut the dead weight, and move on, which is inevitable with a new GM. So then it brings the question, like, okay, if this season is more or less lost, then what are we doing with Sam? And that's my real concern. Obviously, we have a great bond. He's a good friend of mine. We work out together, and I want everything. I want the best for him, and I've lived what he's going through. Their roster right now is no different than what we had in 2012, 2013, or whatever, my last couple of years there. There's no household names. There's nobody, that a defensive coordinator is looking at their offense like, damn, okay, are we going to double this guy? Are we going to roll coverage? Like, what are we going to do? Nobody's doing that. So you can't expect these guys to compete and develop a quarterback with that going on in the building. So now it's, what's best for Sam, what's best for the organization, how bad is his shoulder injury, and I understand why they cut ties with Le'Veon now. I think things are hard enough, but then you're, doing the social media stuff like criticizing play calling or agreeing with criticizing the play calling or however it went down. It's just messy, and in a media market like that, you just don't want that. No, you don't need it anywhere. But if you're in Jacksonville, if you're in somewhere else, it's not the same. Here, it's just a cancer, and you can't have that. It doesn't help you move forward. So I think that was just kind of Joe Douglas sending a message to everybody, like, hey, I understand we're not very good, but that doesn't fly here.
No doubt. I get it too. And I'll just walk through the front door here with you, because again, you're also an analyst, a college football analyst for ESPN. I mean, you know the landscape about everything here, from being a quarterback with the Jets and who's going to be potentially number 1 overall. I think what they should do is let Sam free. I think they're breaking him. I think he might be broken. He is. I've met him, and I second the emotion. You obviously know him better. He's a great human. He deserves better than this. He's somebody who showed up on his first day of being a Jet. He went to a children's hospital. That's exactly what you want out of a face of a franchise.
Exactly.
But they have nobody around him right now. There is no way to properly evaluate him. He's in danger, personally, I think, out there. And I think they should trade him at this deadline right now. Give him a new spot. Put him in a spot where somebody can get him cheap, and put him in a quarterback room with a real veteran, and let him just sit back and learn and start again somewhere else and draft Trevor Lawrence. I wonder what you think about that.
Yeah, I don't think that's a terrible idea. Actually, I think that'd be great. I just don't know if that will happen, right? Because you still have him. You can exercise the 5th year, right? I believe.
Yes.
Am I correct on timing, right?
You are indeed, sir.
So, I mean, if you can, and it's still not some crazy number, and you can still get the first pick, like, why wouldn't you let those guys compete and then see what happens? Now, I don't think that's the best for Sam. If you have just Sam's best interest in mind, yeah, I think you're right. I think he does go somewhere else where he's going to match up with a coordinator who's going to love to have him. They just get a gift, right in their lap.
No doubt.
And Christmas come early if it happens at the trade deadline. So that would be perfect for him to develop somewhere where they're going to build around him. But if he's constantly looking over his shoulder, especially with a new GM, like I ran into this when they drafted Geno Smith. Like, as soon as Mike Tannenbaum left, there's no promises, there's no guarantees with me, because the guy running the show has no ties to me. And now I'm just another commodity like anybody else. He's not emotionally invested in me. And so that's it. And now Sam's in that position. So you just, like you said, you want the best for him, and I'd love for him to land somewhere where he's appreciated and they build around him, because I know for a fact he has the talent to do it. I've seen him work out with Josh Allen all offseason the last couple of years. And these guys make the same throws. It's just Josh Allen is working with household names. Like, they draft and develop, and then they played the free agent game and won, right? They gambled on free agents and won. Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, John Brown. Like, the players, then they're drafting players. They have a good running back in Singletary, and they draft Zach Moss from Utah, who's a baller. So, I mean, this is what you want for your quarterback. The Jets just need to take notes on that and figure out how to build around a quarterback. If Trevor Lawrence comes in and has the same situation as Sam, he'll get wasted too. And it's really too bad. It's all about how you build around that guy.
Mark, you're the man. I appreciate connecting with you here. Let's do this more often. I really would appreciate that. It was a delight seeing you underneath the baby alien mask. Congrats on having that moment with your family and being able to do something where you step out of your lane, if you will. All good. Thanks for the call. You take care.
Yes, sir. Let's talk soon.
Let's do that. That's Mark Sanchez, everybody, right here at Mark_Sanchez on Twitter and Instagram. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.